Yeah, they will be, once this gets into agreement, I am sending them a copy of all of those that are not on there, and they're going to scan them electronically and put them out onto our website before the finished product. So at least it's there, but if we do make any updates to it, those updates will be worked on at the same time and made available.
Yes.
And then, really, I'll just read then what the detail of everything that's going to process.
Well,
I would just want to know, if you go after competitors for the bid, for this, if you bid it, it's sold.
We've been using general code for many years. Actually, it was their recommendation, not recommendation, but I had asked them about how we could incorporate all of those other ordinances and that we have that aren't in there. And they said, well, in reality, you guys haven't done an analysis since, it hasn't been updated since 1990. You could do this, and this is the process that they recommended us to do. I've checked with other different companies that also do it, which is Muni Code, and is the other one? There's one more other company that does it too, and their pricing was a little different because they price per page versus,
So you did get competitive bid.
I got quotes from them, and it's their quotes were, this one so far was the best one because, like I said, all the other ones were they're doing it on a per page price, which came out, a couple of them came out to like almost $20,000. But the detail and options that they do is they'll have a preliminary telephone conference with us. They'll update everything of our code, paper-wise and electronic, up to our last ordinance that I sent them, which was from May 1st, 2010. They'll convert the code to the 8.5 by 11. They'll do proofreading, organizational analysis, editorial analysis. They'll do a code adoption legislation, all the editorial work, formatting and stylization, the duplication. We'll have 10 standard binders, the tabs, the comprehensive index, the disposition list, and then, of course, is all the final updates for both paper version and electronic. And like I said, it's a process that's going to be more than a year. It's almost a 2-year project when everything is said and done.
Ed?
So then if they got all the ordinances up to May 1st, are we then going to put a freeze on any ordinances until the final version comes out?
No, we don't have to. As they come along, I just need to send them and they'll continue working to incorporate it. If it happens to be that it's in a section that they're working on, it just might take a little longer to have it available to post it out onto the website if they're working in that section where that ordinance just happens to fall. But if not, I just have to continue like I normally do, sending it to them, and they'll just be putting them in and updating it at the same time.
Okay, the second question is, how is the deliverable going to be approved? Does anybody, does the town have anybody going through the finished product and verifying that what was delivered is what exactly promised to be delivered?
That us as
There
a,
are 3 different stages, yes.
Okay.
At the
We're-
organizational stage, at the editorial, or at the incorporation of the changes stage, and then at a final stage.
All 3 of us, 4 of us, 5 of us have gone through it so far and had at least one meeting. We're having a second one. So we will provide the list of things we want looked at or changed to them, and then when we get it back, we'll just make sure that they have made those changes that we recommended.
I was thinking the cost in terms of going up. I see some, actually, this governmental laws that somehow got through all the approval processes and never realized that it was totally non-grammatical English.
Oh,
And,
well, that's the nice part about having these people. They specialize in that sort of, making languages consistent, the terms are consistent. It's proper English, if you would. Any other discussion? If you ever have a sleepless night where you can't go to sleep, I'd advise you to get the code book out. Because it's a very necessary document, but it's a very dry document to read. Any other discussion, questions? Hearing none, I'll call for a roll call vote.
You want a
Oh.
motion first?
Oh, do you want a motion? You want to make a motion? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we award a contract to General Code in the amount of $14,995 to update the town code, the charter and the town code.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Any further discussion, questions, comments? Hearing none, call for a roll call vote.
Councilwoman Posey,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Chesley,
Yes.
Mayor Rice.
Yes. That concludes the business. Two more things on the agenda, announcement of upcoming meetings and citizens' comments. We have a list of the upcoming meetings back on the table, I think. But let me go over those quickly for you. Community Action Group meeting, September the 8th, Wednesday, here in the Village Green Pavilion. This is where we look at issues that face the town and try to come up with ways of attacking these problems and trying to come up with some solutions. The flea market continues Saturday, September the 11th and September the 18th. No flea market on the 25th. On September 12th, Sunday, there's an Indian Head car show here on the Village Green, and that's usually good attendance, participation in that car show. So if you want to see some antique cars and some modified cars, come on out to the car show. The Oxon Hill Trail and Bicycle Club annual Century Bicycle Ride. If you've never ridden 100 miles on a bicycle, now's your chance to do it. September the 12th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. if you think you can go that far in that time period.
They also had 3 shorter courses.
Yeah. Oh, darn. We usually, what did they have last year? 400 cyclists or 400 or 500 cyclists show up for that. Don't forget, on September 14th, it's primary election day. Everybody know who they're going to vote for? Is everyone going to vote?
yes.
You better be out here to vote. We have something like, what is it, 1,600 registered voters in this precinct. And I'd like to see at least 1,000 people come out to vote that day. We'll have the election posted, reminding you on the board coming into town that it is primary election day. So if you forget when you're coming home from work, you can just keep on going and come in and vote. Economic Development meeting Wednesday, September 15th, here in the Village Green Pavilion at 7 o'clock. Community Activities Committee, September 21st at 7 o'clock in the back room in the Community Senior Center. Planning Commission, Tuesday, September 21st, 7 o'clock here in the Pavilion. On September 25th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., the Naval Support Facility Indian Head is celebrating its 120th anniversary. So be sure to come out for that. I think Jennifer's going to give us a little brief on that in a minute, so she'll get you worked up. Yes, sir?
The little flyer you had on your
Yes.
the health fair.
Yes, okay. Yeah. We have a town council work session Monday, September 27th, 1 o'clock at the town hall. And the next town meeting is again on Monday, October the 4th at 7:30 here in the pavilion. Not included on the list are on September 30th from 10 to 2, there's a Naval Branch Health Clinic or a local health fair here in the Village Green, or on the Village Green and in the pavilion, sponsored by the Naval Branch Health Clinic and the town of Indian Head. So we have a lot of participants. There's a flyer back on the table I'd like you to take So if you're interested in Weight Watchers or any of the other health information that's available from a lot of other activities, come on out, come on over between 10 and 2, Thursday, September 30th. Then on October 3rd, between 10 and 2, the Indian Head Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad is holding its open house and safety day at the firehouse. So that's October 3rd between 10 and 2. Yes.
Just one additional announcement. On September 25th, also between the hours of noon and 6 p.m., the Up the Creek Rentals is going to have a Clean the Creek Day down there at the Mattawoman Creek down there at the end of Mattingly Avenue. There'll be free kayak rides, there'll be hot dogs, free T-shirts, giveaways. There are all kinds of things going on that day. But the flyer is in the back.
What's the date again?
September the 25th, from noon to 6.
One other addition on September 13th from 10 o'clock in the morning in the town hall conference room will be a town council work session to go over the revisions, corrections to the charter and the code again before we send the list off to general code publishers.
Any other additions?
County fair. County fair.
County Fair. Does that mean it's going to rain this next week? Or sometime this month? I think it's, what is that, the 15th? It's the 15th to the 19th, over at the fairgrounds, the County Fair. Yeah, the town works the information booth, so we all have special training for that. The most asked question is, where are the bathrooms? So we learn to point and say, there, the bathrooms are over there.
The next most asked question is, where's the ATM?
Where's the ATM in the bathroom?
Do you take the town center over there?
No, we're working the information booth. There's an information booth and we're manning it. The town is manning it. Okay, any citizens' comments? If you have any, please come up to the podium and give your name and address. I know Jennifer's going to come. Oh, okay, young gentleman. No, go ahead. You can go ahead.
Hi, my name's Aaron LaSure. I reside in Village of Potomac at 324B in Monahan Circle. I have 3 questions. First question has to deal with a redesignation of a bus stop. All the riders here who come to Indian Head, a majority of us stay in the townhomes here, but there is no bus stop that's designated there. We've been told by Metro that it has to be proposed by our own city of Indian Head to change the location of the bus stops here. And I propose, since we have a majority of riders living within the new Village of Potomac townhome, that designated stop be moved back towards the townhomes there. And that's just been, we brought it up numerous times and we were told to come to the council to present that.
Where is the current stop?
Current stop is right here at the school, right here at the end of the
Oh,
street, right?
okay.
That's where the bus stop is.
So you want us to delete that one and move it back to?
And move it back to the townhomes.
We want both a evening drop-off stop and
In the morning.
a morning pickup.
The morning pickup is further down this way, and there's no morning pickup here on the other side. So if we move both of them back towards the townhomes, either one at that stop or across the street is fine.
The morning pickup will probably be
Across the street on the other side.
At the town hall or somewhere like that, okay,
Correct. And right
okay. You got that, right? Okay. Second question.
there. Second question is concerning, is there any solicitation for any grocery stores or anything that the city council has been working on to get rid of our eyesore? We have a facility down here. I know we've got Family Dollar, but I don't think they're going to have any cold goods that we're going to be able to get out of there or frozen goods out of Family Dollar.
We've been working on a grocery store for as long as I can remember. We don't meet any criteria, anybody's criteria for a grocery store. The big chains all want, they've gone to the big store, 75,000 square foot and above. So they don't want to talk to us. And they also want to be on a through street, a busy intersection, a busy street. Since we're at the beginning of the road, we have no through traffic. We've tried some of the smaller stores like Aldi, McKay. We've tried all those, and they're not interested in, yeah, for a small store to make money, a small company to make money with a grocery store, they have to have a liquor license, they say. There are too many liquor licenses.
Too, and Indian Head doesn't have a population demographic basis.
Right.
Look at us like complete. I've tried for other even small companies, and it's hard. If you win the lottery, I'll work for you.
Okay.
The liquor license business is interesting. We're saturated on this side of the county, so to get a liquor license for a grocery store, we'd have to have a special exception or a special, some sort of legislation from the Maryland legislature to make that happen. Now, we can ask for that, but we need to find a store that's interested in coming here first.
Have we thought about partnering or seeing with the Navy base, if there's a partnership that we could do possibly with them?
We've brought that up. There are several other places around the country that have joint commissary grocery stores in small towns. We've broached it with the Navy. They looked at us like, never heard of that before. So I think they're looking into it. I think they're learning. And we'll bring it up again and see if we can revive interest in that.
And my last question is, how about another coffee shop?
Yeah.
I missed both of them.
The building's available if you'd like to start one up.
I'll look into it. That was my own question. Thank you.
No, the coffee shop, we'd like to see a coffee shop here again also. Whatever it takes to get one, I don't know. Okay, wait, let Jennifer go, yeah. Go ahead, Jennifer, yeah.
I didn't want to bump a citizen because I don't live in Indian Head. I grew up in Indian Head. I love Indian Head, and my family was here forever. So I'm part of it. Right now I'm working at the Navy base, and that's why I'm here. Bring greetings from Captain Budio, who is NSWC Indian Head, the guys that do the energetics, and we're celebrating our 120th birthday. The way the Navy's now structured, South Potomac is the regional facilities command for us and Dahlgren and a lot of others. And they had given to us the ability to come out and try to tell you about what's going to be happening on the 120th birthday. And a lot of you were here, or your friends, or your families were here for the 100th birthday. And it was very, very exciting. And this one's going to be better. We're trying to bring back the magic of the Autumn Fest and make it fun. And I want to thank you for the time and tell you a little bit about what we're going to do. South Potomac has, I think, sent out some invitations and sent out some stuff, but in truth, we're going to ask you to keep help pumping it to all of your friends, relatives, and whatever who have worked here. I see people that have worked here with the Navy, with the elementary school, and we're really going to work to bring that back. One thing we're going to have is we're going to have a brand new historic video that is going to start with 120 years ago. We've pulled all the historic pictures, and the captain's working with our graphics folks every day, and it's going to be on the big screen in here. We also are bringing in 2 ejection seats, and there'll be something for you to sit in. What it is it's a true ejection seat, one of the old-fashioned ones, one's the new ones, with a real helmet. And we're going to take your picture sitting in there. When you get out of there, you're going to walk to the table, because sitting there is going to be a Marine jet pilot. And this jet pilot was in theater and actually ejected out. And he pulled that cord, and he said, oh, please God, that people down at Indian Head knew what they were doing. Because he pulled it, he ejected, fire comes up under the seat, and he ejected safely. His father is the business director at Indian Head, Tom Cannon. And so he is going to spend the whole day with us. He has a poster to hand out. He's going to autograph it, probably tell you to join the Navy or the Marine Corps or whatever, but that's part of it. We're going to be bringing out some really cool hardware. So we're going to have missiles and things like that, but we're going to bring out a lot of other stuff too. We have guys that are leading the thing for the Department of the Navy on traumatic brain injury, which is what is happening to those guys if they're in a Humvee and they get blasted. Sometimes there's no physical damage, but there is damage to the nerve endings within the head. And we have immediate problems and long-term problems. And Mr. Hoyer actually put money in for the FY11 budget to help fund this research. We're working with the University of Maryland Medical School on this. We're working with a lot of cool folks, and it's going to help a lot. They're coming. We also, one of the guys this morning said he wanted to come and bring what's called MEMS. It's micro-electromagnetic, anyway, itty bitty chips. And they're, the ones that are most commercially available are silicon-based. And, but we are the only place in the free world that can add an explosive to that if needed, for opening a door, for whatever. So they're going to bring out some cool stuff. And where a lot of people are getting psyched, one of our problems in one of South Potomac's is really getting the word out. So we're going to be sending out stuff to our retirees. We're going to be putting banners up and posters up. And South Potomac's told us to promote among our workforce, because that's where the key people will be coming. For the kids, South Potomac is bringing in pony rides, inflatables, face painting, and everything else. So for the adults, it's going to be a walk back through history. We're going to have the old chili that we always had, the great T-shirts with the wonderful Indian on it, and a lot of young scientists and engineers out there to tell you that Indian Head was serving the fleet and taking care of America back 120 years ago. And it's got things going into theater today that are really making a difference. And we are continuing to make a difference. Our captain would like to be more of a attendee here, and he asked me to apologize to us for not coming out more. And we would offer to, if anybody wants to learn more about the base, we'll bring him out and do whatever you need us to do, sir. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Council members, and everyone else. Thank you.
I've got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
At any time soon, will we be improving the kiosk and the Sunday store there? Because it's highly overpriced, except for your liquor and the uniforms and the catering, which is very, I had no problems with that. But the rest of that.
Well, you know, and
$4 for, $4.25, $4.50 for some milk and just things. I just can't even see it being useful for the guys in the barrels. Well, that's all the retirees that are out there.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that's a little bit hard, up until about 7 years ago, the captain was the head of the base, and he would be the one that could make those decisions. And this is a real activist captain and would really like to. Unfortunately, or fortunately, for a lot of reasons, the Navy 7 years ago decided to take all the bases and put it under regional commands. And so that's called the Facilities Command, and we have Navy South Potomac, and then for the mission.
Hopefully, most of you are already aware of the outreach committee for the Indian Head Rail Trail. For those of you who are not, basically, the town has organized a committee to help promote the town to the users of the rail trail, as well as to also reach out to businesses in town to try to get them to reach out to the users of the trail to try to thereby increase development of town. We're calling this branding the town. It's sort of like the trail towns that are in place in Western Maryland along the Allegheny Gap Trail and the C&O Canal Trail. The outreach committee this past month basically set up, I guess, outreach tables at the two events held in the town, the National Night Out and also the Lotus Blossom Festival on the 3rd and on the 21st. And as such, we were able to reach out to a number of people to explain to them the benefits of the town of Indian Head, to show them, why they should stop in Indian Head, to brand Indian Head as a destination for users of the trail. And we are also able to reach out to a number of aspiring politicians, I should say, who are currently running for commissioner, to basically tell them, and delegate, explain to them the importance of this trail to Indian Head and why they should be keeping that in mind, and also why they should be passing regulations and whatnot to help us promote business to the town. We've also, people have also talked to some of the businesses in town to try and help, try and gather get them to reach out to the various users of the trail. One of the things that we're doing, as you heard earlier, we're building, increasing the pedestrian access to the trail. What this is, we were advised by the national parks that the village green is the most, it's the best asset possessed by the trail, by the town, and that we should make the most of it, and therefore we should facilitate access by pedestrian users of the trail to and from the village green. And that's one of the reasons why we're actually doing this, the access, making it a new access. Also, another thing we're supposed to be doing is also working on new signage. Everybody saw, until it was knocked down in the accident, the little tiny sign that said IHRT, which cryptic letters meant Indian Head Rail Trail. And what we've been working with the county to try and get much larger, more prominent sign to basically be able to direct people to the trail. The other thing we want to try and do is get signs